And we'll play the march on.
Easy. Even sir. Sea Cadet Corps, Army Cadet Force, Air Training Corps on parade, in route in order awaiting your inspection. May I have your leave? Will you inspect? Sir, please. Sir, thank you very much. Senior cadets, take post!
cadets will make their way up the seating bay and take the seats that are available for you. Gentlemen, welcome to the Spectrum Centre on this, the 7th advertised remembrance or armistice evening. And it's actually the 11th year, but the 7th advertised, and we started off with one Air Cadet and the Eagle section of the Sea Cadets from down around the yard there. And we started off with, I think it was 38 people in the audience, so have a look around. I think we're getting too big for our own boots now. We've nearly got an army here now. We've got every branch of the army. And what a wonderful, wonderful sight to see so many young people coming along and taking part in this in our backyard. It's also wonderful to see tonight that we have the attachment of young BB, local BB boys here. Fantastic. Great to see. Welcome to all. And welcome to yourselves. And welcome to distinguished visitors from the forces on the front seat, not drawing any attention to you, but there you go. You wear the badges, you take the stick, you know. So, and also welcome to the cheerleading of Cave Hill branch of the Royal British Legion. And I know John's going to say you got that wrong, but it doesn't matter. Say it now. Just a couple of acknowledgements before the band entertains you as they always do. Very, very welcome, Davey and the rest of his colleagues here. Alec, know for quite a few of these lads, and they will entertain me a few melodies. But I'd like to acknowledge the Shankill Road Defenders Fruit Band, the Belfast Eagle Sea Cadets, the 2nd Battalion Glenwood Detachment, Royal Irish Army Cadets, 1919 Newton Abbey Squadron Air Training Cadets, the Boys Brigade, the Reverend Colin Duncan, the Spectrum Centre, the directors and the management of the Greater Shankill Partnership, the Greater Shankill Community Council, obviously Old Park Cave Hill Royal British Legion and their standard bearer, Billy Paxton over in the corner there, City of Belfast ABF, that's me and you, Sean, where are you? Right. Ulster Scots Agency, we never sent the paper up. On Row, the Shankill Remembers Organising Committee. The retired collection, ladies and gentlemen, tonight will go towards the Royal British Legion, the Poppy Appeal. Just one small announcement to make before I leave the floor and let Davey introduce the band in proper, is on the 24th of this month, City of Belfast are going to reissue, republication, a reprint of the UVF 1915 hospital book. And as that book was reproduced in aid to charitable soldiers and people who were hurt during that great conflict, the reprint of the book will be sold for the purposes of the Waste Foundation and the Northern Ireland Children's Hospice. So it'll be, the launch date is the 24th of November, it's a Friday night, and it's up in St Matthew's Church. So that's me sort of all talked out. I thank you for your attention. I now hand it over to David and his colleagues.
Hello. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure and honour for the Shankill Road Defenders to be once again asked to perform at this armistice evening. We have put together a selection of war and military themed tunes. We start off with The Soldier's Return by the great Scottish poet Robbie Burns. Hope you enjoy. The next number we're going to be playing is Take Me Back to Dear Old Blighty. It was written by Arthur J. Mills, telling the story of 3 fictional soldiers on the Western Front, suffering from homesickness and longing to be back to dear old Blighty with their family. On June the 13th, 1982, the last battle of the Falklands conflict, the fight for Mount Tumbledown, the job of taking this mountain fell to the 2nd Battalion of the Scots Guards. The battle lasted over 12 hours and victory came at a high price. 43 British soldiers wounded and 9 had been killed. After the battle, Pipe Major James Riddle stood near the rock crest of Mount Tumbledown, cradling his bagpipes to play the haunting Quick March he had composed in memory of his fallen comrades. That march was the crags of Tumbledown Mountain. In two world wars and also recent conflicts, our American allies have stood side by side with our British forces. Well, eventually, the Halls of Montezuma is the official hymn of the United States Marine Corps. It is the oldest song in the United States Army. The Marine's hymn is typically sang in a position of attention as a gesture of respect. On the afternoon of the 22nd of May 2013, Fusilier Lee Rigby was off duty and walking alone Wellington Street, South East London, when he was brutally attacked and hacked to death by two Islamic terrorists. Our drum instructor, Craig McAllister, like the rest of us, was so appalled by this tragedy, he decided to compose a drum cadence in Lee's memory. The music score of the cadence was framed and sent to Lee's family, which they found as a great comfort. As we all know, Lee was a fellow bandsman and drummer. Tonight, the SRD Drum Corps will proudly perform Lee's cadence, and in his memory, falling into Ivan Novello's Home Fires. Our next piece was written in 1891 and was inspired by the 1935 US romantic comedy of the same name. See if you can guess the title of this film. The final tune is the British musical hall classic, composed in 1912 by Jack Judge. The song became a great favourite amongst the soldiers of both world wars. It's a long way to Tipperary.
Could I ask now our parade master, Sam McCrory, if he would invite the cadets to retake the floor, please. We are now moving swiftly to the business end of the evening. And I've just had in my ear from the director, the book charities are the Children's Heartbeat Trust and the Children's Hospice. So re-announce it. So ladies and gentlemen, the book that we launched is for the Children's Heartbeat Trust and the Children's Hospice. And we can now welcome all our cadets back onto the floor. Thank you.
Stand there only! By the front, quick, march! Hooray! Hooray! Come!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I think Bobby mentioned at the outset this is probably the 11th year we've had this event, and it's certainly the third year that On Row Shankill members have been involved directly with this. So, on behalf of my colleagues on the organising group, can I also extend a very warm welcome to everyone this evening. On Sunday last, we had the honour of welcoming the Honorary Polish Consul, Mr. Jerome Mullen, and Rabbi David Singer, as we launched our commemoration event. Just over 100 years ago, 5,000 plus men marched down the Shankill Road and off to war. Over 1,500 of these brave men did not make it back. 150 of them were killed on the first day of the Battle of the Somme, the 1st of July 1916. A date seared on the hearts of many across this island. From a personal perspective, I remember with pride a great uncle, aged 18, Albert Granger, who served in the 8th Battalion Black Watch, and who died of wounds at the Somme. Now, if we give some thought to this, the heartbreaking truth to the numbers involved means that a funeral, if it was ever possible to find the men's remains, would have taken place on the Shankill for the entire duration of the Great War. 4 years, 3 months, and 14 days. Every street within the Shankill at the time could well have suffered one death within it, and indeed, in some cases, many more. How do you think you would cope with witnessing this every day for over 4 years? Do you believe this scale of sacrifice deserves every second of remembrance? The names of the men who will be remembered in our nightly roll call are as familiar today as they were back then, and are so because the families of these men still live within this community. And this is the time for the Greater Shankill to recognise and remember. Recognise those who left before us, their bravery, their sacrifice, their families' loss, and to remember also that their loss played a part in shaping all our lives. Each year, we wear our poppies with pride, doing so not for any political reason, but as a simple way of showing our pride and respect to those who died on our behalf, and in support of those who continue to suffer the ravages of war and more recent conflicts. Ours is a simple message: to remember is to honour. I'd like to invite representatives from the cadets this evening to do our nightly roll call.
Samuel Ferris, 9153, Rifleman, 1st Battalion, the Royal Irish Rifles, killed in action on the 11th of November 1914. Lived 37 Mayo Street, Shankill Road, Belfast.
John Yates, SS 100526, Stoker, First Class, HMS Hawk, Royal Navy. Lost at sea on the 15th of October 1914. Lived in 25 Stringmount Street, Shankill Road, Belfast.
Joseph Burnley, Corporal, U.S. Army, killed in action 21st September 1918. Lived 220 Tennant Street, Belfast, Shankill Road. Thomas Robinson, 64354, Snapper, 150th Field Company, Royal Engineer, killed in action 16th of August 1917. Lived 44 Tennant Street, Shankill Road, Belfast. Robert Martin, 8757, Private, 2nd Battalion, Scots Guards. Killed in action 17th of October 1915. Lived 106, 14 Gill Street, Shankill Road, Belfast.
Andrew West, K3964, Stoker, First Class, HMS Pathfinder, Royal Navy, killed in action 5th of September 1914. Lived 50 Tuberville Street, Belfast, Shankill Road, Belfast.
Richard Purdy, SS 104630, Stoker, First Class, HMS Hawk, Royal Navy, killed in action on the 15th of October 1914. Lived in 35 Agnes Street, Shankill Road, Belfast.
William George Shelby, L8311, Private, 2nd Battalion, Royal Sussex Regiment, killed in action 30th of October 1914. Lived in 45 6th Street, Shankill Road, Belfast.
William Calderwood, forward Private, 11th Battalion, Australian Infantry, killed in action 25th of April 1915. Lived in 32 Beverly Street, Shankill Road, Belfast.
William Frederick Franz, 20817, Rifleman, 18th Battalion, London Regiment, killed in action 5th of September 1918. Lived 5th Battenberg Street, Shankill Road, Belfast. Joseph Russell, 30280, Lance Corporal, 1st Battalion, Royal Dublin Fusiliers, died 5th of May 1918. Lived 64 Mayo Street, Shankill Road, Belfast.
Robert Johnson, 40752, Private, 8th Battalion, Black Watch, Royal Highlanders, killed in action 8th April 1917. Lived 29 Fortingale Street, Shankill Road, Belfast.
James Manili, 9983, Sergeant, 1st Battalion, Royal Enniskillen Fusiliers, died of wounds 1st January 1916. Lived 65 Downing Street, Shankill Road, Belfast.
William Healy, 81852, Gunner, 15
19 Brigade, 45th Batter. Royal Field Artillery, died of wounds 25th July 1916. Lived 65 Down Street, Shankill Road, Belfast.
Harry Connor, 16295, Private, 7th Battalion, Canadian Infantry, killed the 24th of April 1915. Lived at 192 Snugville Street in Shankill Road, Belfast.
John Connor, 22871, Gunner, 15th Brigade, Royal Field Artillery, killed in action 9th October 1917, lived 92 Slumville Street, Shankill Road, Belfast.
Thank you very much to the cadets and members of the BB who read the roll call. I hope you picked up on some of the names and some of the names of the streets and the fact that some of those streets were repeated. Interestingly, in the roll call that we did on Monday night, Tuesday night and Wednesday night, for some reason, and there is no reason for it, but Cambrai Street came up each evening. So it just gives you a flavour of how different parts of the community suffered during the First World War. Like all good programmes, there's a bit of a change in this. I mentioned that Row On Row has been going for 4 years. We have a number of groups involved in Row On Row, including ABF, Old Park Cave Hill British Legion, a number of community groups, church groups, youth organisations, the Ladies Psalm Association, all who have participated in putting the Row On Row programme together. If you have the opportunity between now and the weekend, just take a walk into the Remembrance Garden. There are over 1,000 crosses planted there in memory of those men who made that supreme sacrifice. The reality is there's a lot of hard work goes on behind the scenes, not least of all in terms of making sure the sheets are out or seats are out, with the bands here, that the cadets have turned out. And can I just maybe take the opportunity to say thank you very much to the officers involved, but more importantly to the cadets themselves, the way they've turned out tonight. Absolutely amazing, and I think they deserve a round of applause. As I've said, we all play a part in different aspects of everything that goes on. Some people think that the Royal British Legion only works for 2 weeks in the year, we run up to Remembrance. The reality is, as an organisation, it works 365 days of the year, 24 hours a day, and it's through the subscriptions that good people like yourselves make, put money into the poppy box or whatever, that supports the work of the Royal British Legion. Through the sale of poppy badges, Greater Shankill Community Council distribute the profits, and I use that word loosely, from the sale of the badges to the poppy appeal and to a variety of service and ex-service charities, both locally and nationally. And to date have distributed £110,000 of your money, not ours, £110,000 in the last 10 years to poppy appeal and to service and ex-service charities. So well done you. The bit that I'm coming to, and when I sat down and said, well, I have to say, this was my night off, or it was supposed to be my night off. I've been working along with my colleagues for the launch of Row On Row and for Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday night down at the Memorial Garden. So I was planning to come here and put my feet up and enjoy the evening, but unfortunately Bobby told me something different. So taking this opportunity, because behind the scenes, as I've said, there's always somebody there working the engine and arranging and making sure that the cadets are here, the band's here, the seats are out, the lights are on, and there are two involved. The other one's hiding in the background as well, that's Sam Coulter. I suppose his sidekick is Bobby Foster, and it's just to say, you know, well done to Bobby, and take an opportunity. In fact, when I lifted probably I've maybe moved it. When I brought these in tonight, Sergeant Nick Williams said, I hope there's no fuses in that. And I've no idea what he meant by that, but obviously there's not. But there's one of these, you're not making me ripping this, Bob. You can keep this plastic for wrapping the Christmas presents for whoever. This is a, you can call it a statue, I suppose, but it's a Lee Entry 303 with a Tommy helmet on the top of it. And for many of those who we talked about this evening, who made the supreme sacrifice, this is what was put at their head wherever they fell. For some, there is no known grave, they are known only unto God, and are remembered on memorials like the Thiefval Memorial and on the Menin Gate. But for many, or for some, they at least have a final resting place. So I just want to present this to Bobby to say thank you from all of us, not just from me, from all of us, for all the stuff that he does here in terms of the spectrum. And there's one for you too, Sam, so don't be worrying. Bobby. We're almost at that time of the evening, pardon me, for the final part of our service. So I'd like to introduce Reverend Duncan from Woodvale and Shankill Methodist Church to lead us in our act of remembrance.
So my friends, let's prepare ourselves in heart, mind and spirit for our act of remembrance here this evening, and I would invite you to stand as you are able. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them. When you go home, Tell them of us and say, for your tomorrow we gave our today. Friends, we remain standing for the national anthem.
Service as the permission to march to cadets officer. Thank you very much. Dismissed. Parade will march off in column of route. Right, turn!
The band will play the march off.